Subscribe to the Raiders Report, the #1 channel on YouTube to keep you up to date on everything Raiders. Now, you probably clicked on this video because you saw the Russell Wilson rumor. I'm going to tell you if it's true or false here in a little bit. But first, let's dive into today's latest news, where we got Dre Kirkpatrick because the Raiders, they did in fact talk to the veteran cornerback before going out and signing Prince Amukamara on Tuesday. Now, there was a report that came out, I believe, last week, 2 weeks ago, and I took a little bit of a deeper dive, and I said that Dre Kirkpatrick was definitely a target for this Raiders defense. And I also said, don't be surprised if they go out inside a veteran quarter. Now, Amukamara, Kirkpatrick, both at the age of 30. I think the reason why that this Raiders team ended up going with Amukamara was simply because of health. Now, Kirkpatrick's very talented, but last season he did miss some games because of the injury. That's why he only had 33 tackles, 4 pass breakups. Now, why do you go out and get a Prince Amukamara? Because he has played in 14-plus games in 4 straight seasons. And when you go out and draft the Damon Arnett at pick number 19, I think this now gives this young player the ability to sit behind Amukamara for him to learn a little bit and not be pushed into a situation that he's not ready for. I have started to watch tape on Arnett. My confidence is building on Arnett. But the main reason why the Raiders were going out and looking for a veteran cornerback, whether that was going to be Kirkpatrick or Prince Amukamara, was I think really to help build Arnett. But I did talk about Kirkpatrick, and I've talked about Prince Amukamara multiple times here on the Raiders Report. But the way that this show works is it is a conversation between you and me. So I want you to go down in the comments section, and I want you to let me know. Pick a cornerback. Dre Kirkpatrick, type DK, or Prince Amukamara, I want you to type PA. Warning. The Raiders Report features rumors from the internet and is intended for an intelligent audience. Chat Sports does not condone the idiotic rumors made by other websites. However, we will talk about them. Enjoy. Russell Wilson to the Raiders. This rumor is zero Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. Now, I know not all of you are subscribed, and maybe we have some new viewers. So what the heck does zero Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that mean? It means it's absolutely not going to happen. We got it clear? Russell Wilson not going to the Raiders. Now, if you see a rumor that's one Chucky head, small shred of truth, I like to think 25% chance of happening. And if you see something that's 4 Chucky heads, it means I believe it's 100% going to happen. Throw it in the comments section with me. Believe it, baby. Okay, let's now dive back into that Russell Wilson rumor. So first off, there was a report that came out that the Seahawks talked to the Browns about a trade. That trade involved Wilson to the Browns for the #1 overall pick in 2018. So basically, Baker Mayfield. So then, I'm like, all right, Mike Florio, you got my attention. I'm watching here. I'm looking. He basically then goes on to say in his tweet, don't be shocked if Wilson is traded. Okay? So then I clicked on the article. Inside that article, he lists teams, the teams that are the most likely to trade for Russell Wilson. The one team that he listed, among others, was the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm kind of getting sick and tired of quarterback available, quarterback rumor. Let's just throw him to the Raiders, right? Because it's the easy way, and that's what people are doing. It's zero Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that, because Wilson has a no-trade clause. I mean, if you got a no-trade clause, it's kind of hard to move on from a player. Now, don't get me wrong. He is the highest-paid quarterback in the league, and I would actually argue the second-best quarterback in the league behind only Patrick Mahomes, and his numbers prove that. But for the Seahawks to trade Russell Wilson, it would cost them $39 million. So basically, you keep Russell Wilson for $32 in 2021, or you can trade Russell Wilson and cost yourself $39. So would you rather pay Russell Wilson $32 to keep him or $39 million to trade him? Yeah, it's pretty simple math. So what I want every single person to do on today's video, first off, let me know what my mustache looks like, but also zero Chucky heads, and I want every person watching this video to type tuck rule. And I want you to share this video because the Raiders Report is about taking BS rumors and giving you the truth. So share the show on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it on Twitter, Instagram, and if you tag me, I'm going to share it as well. Now, let me calm down a little bit, and I'm hoping all of us soon can go to some Raiders games. I want to go to tailgates, and I think this is the part that's very important. I think everyone right now in the world needs to do their part. So listen up here, okay? If you want to go to games, if you want to tailgate, go get this mask. Chatsports.com/Raiders mask. You get all three that you see on screen for only $24.99. Now, I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description. But also, these things are selling very fast. And I'm worried if you don't take advantage of this deal today, they're going to be sold out, and you're not going to have a chance to get a mask. So one more time, it's chatsports.com/Raiders mask. Let's now get into the next rumor here on today's show. Are the Raiders keeping wide receiver Zay Jones? I'm going to give this one only one Chucky head, and I think it's a small shred of truth. And I saw an article by Bill Williamson, who I respect. I think he does a good job. However, he does say that he thinks that the Raiders end up keeping Jones. Now, for the loyal watchers here on the show, you'll know that I've talked about Jones in the past and saying that if the Raiders are trying to save some cap space, I think it makes sense to cut him, right? I mean, you save $1.4 million and you got a zero dead money hit. But for the Raiders, you go out and you sign Nelson Agholor. You draft basically 3 wide receivers in your top 4 picks. And I like Zay Jones a lot when he was with the Buffalo Bills. He had 7 touchdowns. But last season, he really wasn't used much for this Raiders team. So he had 20 catches with the Bills last year. But on the Raiders, he only had 7 catches for 69 yards. That's not the kind of production I'm looking at. And I hinted before, for this team to go out and add these 4 players, I think that means one thing. You still needed to add talent. That's obvious at the wide receiver position. You needed to build around Derek Carr. That's obvious as well. But it also tells me that if there's a player like Zay Jones, maybe you're not fully confident in him, right? So last year, the Raiders, they kept 6 wide receivers, and I anticipate them keeping 6 again because of these 2 quotes here. The first one is from John Gruden. We have the receivers to spread you out. If we want to go 4 wide or 5 wide at a time, that's what we'll do. But we have the ability now, I think, with our personnel to adapt on a weekly basis to attack whoever we're playing and play aggressively. So that's why I think that they're going to keep 6 receivers, and they're not just going to keep 5, because if you want to run 5 wide, I think it makes sense to have 6. But the reason why I think they only keep 6 is because if this quote right here from Gruden, we want to use 3 tight ends at a time. No disrespect to the receivers, but we're going to put 3 tight ends out there, Waller, Witten, and we're going to run it and play action, and we're going to play old school football. We have a fullback, so we're going to use 2 backs set with Josh and Ingold. The Raiders, they've been throwing out contracts to tight ends, and I think that they're going to end up keeping multiple tight ends, maybe even more than they kept last year. So what does that mean? Again, that I think the Raiders keep 6 wide receivers. But there's 5, in my opinion, that are an absolute lock. You're going to keep Henry Ruggs. Duh. You're going to keep Tyrell Williams. You've already paid him $11.1 million this year. Doesn't make sense to cut him, right? You already paid him. You got Hunter Renfrow, who you drafted last year, who was very good for us last season as well. Bryan Edwards, drafted in round 3. Lynn Bowden. I get the fact that he's also going to play running back, but they also drafted him to also play wide receiver. So what does that mean? You got to keep 1 guy. You still have 5 receivers on your roster. So, again, the Raiders report is about interaction. So I want you to go down in the comments if you watch this video on YouTube and on Facebook, and I want you to let me know, which wide receiver would you keep? Would you keep Nelson Agholor, type NA? He's making 1.05. Would you keep Zay Jones, type ZJ? You can go to Rico Gafford, Marcel Aitman, Keelan Doss. Bottom line, I want you to let me know in the comments section which wide receiver you'd have to keep. Now, I try to stay very interactive on Instagram and on Twitter, and I want to get to know the nation well. So, if you want a chance to win a Max Crosby jersey, all you have to do is give me a follow on Instagram and hit that sub button. I'm going to be picking a winner, I think, sometime next week. So, again, hit the go to Instagram, give me a follow. It's at MitchellRenz365. Now, I want to dive into my projected wide receiver depth chart, okay? I got Henry Ruggs, I got Tyrell Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Nelson Agholor, Bryan Edwards, and Lynn Bowden. So, yes, I ended up keeping Nelson Agholor over Zay Jones. But obviously, with the offseason, a lot can change. If Zay plays well in the preseason, if Zay comes into shape, guess what? It would not surprise me. But the reason why I will continue to say that I believe Nelson Agholor should make this team over Zay Jones, he at least gives you some special teams ability. Will he drop a few footballs? Abso-flippin-lutely. but he also gives you the ability, okay, to play on special teams. So there's my projected wide receiver depth chart. If you don't like it, yell at me in the comments, and you know where to find me on Instagram now. It's at MitchellRens365. Now, I absolutely love this shirt, okay? So the face masks, they were $24.99. The T-shirt, $24.99. And I think when I listen to the nation, y'all always say it's Raiders against the world. So this T-shirt is only available for a limited time. You got to go to chatsports.com/RaidersWorld. It's in the comments. It's in the description. And for the first time ever, they got sizes from small all the way up to 5XL. It's made for the nation, so wear it. Go rep your team. We do have an update now on the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. The first sod was laid Wednesday on the field, and I'm pretty excited. Also, the amount of gifts that I saw for Saw, dude, if you haven't seen it, maybe you're not from the West Coast. But crews began rolling out the sod for natural grass on the field and will play inside Allegiant Stadium. This is interesting, though, because the Raiders, they will be splitting some time with UNLV. And for UNLV, they play on turf. So basically, what does that mean? You put the tray out there for the Raiders games, and when UNLV's got to play, you take it off the field. I also want to say good job to the Raiders for using this, okay, for festivities. So when they have maybe parties, or if they're going to have some pregame festivities, they're going to have the sod outside the stadium. So you can go check it out and you can look at it. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about some football. And remember, everyone do your part. Wash your hands. If you got to get a mask to do it, it's in the comments section. Rep your team. And if this is the first time you've ever seen the video, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.